Good morning. Good morning, YouTube family. As you can see, I'm in my little cozy corner right here. It's a little rainy day. Good morning, YouTube family. As you can see, I'm in my little cozy corner right here. It's a little rainy day. Yes, I got my little blanket. I got my little raggedy little winter sweater on, and I'm gonna have a great time today because I plan to stay around the house. I'm not gonna be out in the streets too much. I don't know, I may just change my mind. Hey, it's my time, it's my solo time. I can pretty much do what I want, and I'm sure you can too, right? So if you are new here to my channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Each and every time you click on a video, I am grateful. Yeah, it's early morning here and it's raining. I've already had a few cups of coffee. I did a little bit of reading, and then I was dancing around over there in the kitchen. I'm right next to the kitchen. Probably not the best place for me to be, but I was doing a little dancing around this morning, getting a little exercise in. That's one way to get exercise in, right? If you think that's a little strange, stick around. You might like, and you like that, you like strange, just stick around. You might like this video. If you think that's weird, stick around anyway. I want to be good company for you, at least for a couple of minutes. The sun has been trying to come through the clouds. But it's taking its time, and I'm okay with that. Like I said, I really do love a rainy day. You know, some people do see rainy days as gloomy, but for me, nah, it's a whole vibe, right? It's a cozy vibe. It's a good feeling vibe for me, you know, listening to the sound of that rain, that cozy atmosphere that it gives, that perfect excuse for you to be alone and to do exactly what I want without any distractions. You saw the title of the video, right? Why I love being alone, and you might too. I do have to tell you though that rainy nights are really my favorite moments. They remind me of solitude, and solitude isn't something that you need to escape. It's something that I tend to embrace, especially during the day. It's really mostly everybody's working, everybody's rushing from one place or another, but a rainy night, that says calmness to me. And that's exactly how I like it. I like calm spaces. I like calm atmospheres. That gives me a sense of peace. Being alone, I think some people take it as you have to be still. You have to be lonely. But for me, it just feels like freedom. I like space. I like being alone. I love being by myself and enjoying my own company. And I guess that makes me different. Solo time means I get to do what makes me feel happy. I think people often mistake solitude for loneliness, but they're not the same. I think that loneliness is when you feel disconnected, even when you're in a crowd. But solitude is you feel whole, you feel content even when you're alone. I never felt lonely. I hear people talk about loneliness and how being alone makes them feel lonely. I think you can be lonely even if you're in a crowd, if it's a crowd that you don't prefer. Being alone for me is peaceful, as I said. And them rainy days, they just remind me of why I love being alone. It's a world that has been slowed down. There's no pressure to go anywhere. There's no pressure to do anything. It's just me, the sound of the rain, and the simple joy of that solitude that I love so much. I mentioned that I was writing a list of, of things that I might want to do. You know what's so special about writing a list though? It's my list. I can change it at any time. I can plan out what I'm gonna do tomorrow when I wake up, and then I can wake up tomorrow and decide to do none of those things, or to do something different, or to do absolutely nothing at all. That's what makes it special. And that's the type of freedom that I like. That's what I was referring to earlier. Being alone gives you freedom. I think about how some people dream about all the things they're going to do when they retire, or when they change their jobs, and they go to a new job that they think is going to give them work-life balance, or give them more time at home, or to give them more time to themselves. And then when they get to that point, they feel loneliness. Some people, a lot of people will take advantage of being the alone time to do the things that they dreamed about doing. And some people will slowly but surely fall into a depression. I don't think that being alone should equate to loneliness or depression. I think that if it's really a mindset, you have to decide how do you feel when you are completely alone with yourself, right? You've got to really enjoy your own company. And if you don't enjoy your own company, maybe there's some things that you could consider changing about yourself, whereas you really enjoy your own company. You can put things in place. You can do all kinds of activities that you dreamed about doing, or you can try something completely new, or you can go back to something you've done in the past and redo the things that gave you the joy that you are hoping to have when you're alone. But I'm not here to teach you how to cope with loneliness. I want you to completely take that off the table. We're not doing loneliness. We're doing solitude. We're doing enjoying our own company. We're doing taking advantage of the freedom that you now have, whether it's after your 9 to 5 each day, or whether it's after your 9 to 5 is complete and behind you, or whether it's you're an empty nester, or whether you are even a widow of being in a marriage for, I don't know, 5 years, 20 years, 50 years. You just need to start living your life. Decide that you're going to start living your life. You don't want to be here just existing. You don't want to be just existing. Let's live our lives. You know what I trip about, or what's trippy to me, is that people seem to think that being alone is boring. But honestly, it's anything but boring to me. I get to spend a day doing exactly what I love without waiting on anyone. Have you ever, you've been with a friend, or you're part of a couple or marriage, and you want to go to the movies. You just want to go to the movies. But then you got to sit down and have a whole conversation about what movie you're going to see. Then you got to go through all these compromisings. There's a whole conversation about what movie you want to see. Maybe you want to see something different from your partner or your friend or your relative. And now you're going to the movies to see something that was not the movie you really wanted to see. Is that a lot of fun to you? But if you go alone, which I know a lot of people feel a certain way about that. I'm thankful that I don't. If I want to see something at the movies specifically, that's what I'm going to see. And if you just want me to go to the movies with you to have my company, I'll go with you another day if today is the day I want to see the movie I want to see. Now, some people might say, well, that's selfish. No, there's nothing selfish about protecting your peace of mind and having some expectation for your own joy. Guess what I'm saying is you have the right to be happy with or without someone else. Another thing that's good about being alone, if you are a creative person, or if you are a person that other people find to be weird or different, when you're alone, you can do whatever you want to do. You can say whatever you want to say. You can eat whatever you want to eat, right? Because you're alone and there is no judgment. You might as well enjoy your free time. Like I said, live your life and stop just existing in this world. Live your life. Sometimes the best things you can do is take yourself out into the world and just soak it up. Just be at peace. I mean, take yourself out on a rainy day adventure. I'm nice and cozy here in my corner. I'm enjoying the warmth. You know, it's probably, I don't know, it was like 40 degrees yesterday. I'm not sure what it is today because I haven't been outside. I really at this moment, have no intention on going outside, but the beauty of having my own free time is that I can decide at a moment's notice that I want to do something different. So you might be wondering, well, what kind of rainy day adventures is she talking about? What do you do out in the rain? I sometimes like to buy my umbrella, go outside and take a walk in the rain with my umbrella. I can do that if I want to. I don't know what your adventures might be. Your adventures might be driving, taking a long drive on a Sunday on a rainy day. It could be going to a few shops and window shopping. It could be something as simple as just going by yourself to the grocery store, picking out your favorite foods, things that you think that you might want to eat during the week. Make yourself a special meal. Cooking could be your adventure for a rainy day. I don't know. You have to decide for yourself. And I'm not trying to teach you how to cope with loneliness. That's not what we're talking about. Today, we're talking about what it feels like to enjoy solitude. I really do think it's a mindset. For me, solitude gives me a chance to pause. It gives me a chance to breathe and simply just be. It's not something to escape. For me, it's something that I cherish. To people like me, and I know there are many more of you out there, I just haven't found you yet, but to people like me, solitude feels like a gift that you give yourself. It's not something that needs to be filled. It's not a void. It's not a space that needs to be filled. It's not silence that needs to be filled. It's really enjoying solitude at its maximum point, the way that you enjoy solitude. And that's different for everybody. What some of you who accidentally may have clicked on this video are thinking that you assume that if you enjoy being alone, that you're either selfish or you're antisocial, but that's not true at all. I love meaningful conversations. I love deep friendships, and I love good company, but I don't need constant social interaction to bring me happiness. There's a difference between choosing solitude and feeling isolated. I don't feel isolated. The first one is empowering, and the second one is something that you may want to consider changing. I know there are some people that maybe say, oh, that's a small world you live in. No, but when you embrace solitude, it doesn't make the world feel smaller. It makes the world feel bigger. Remember, I said in the beginning of the video, I love space. I don't like crowded, cramped up spaces. I love space, and I love my freedom. So no, it doesn't make the world smaller. It makes the world actually bigger for me. I mean, I can sit at a window or stand in a window and watch it rain I can do that for long periods of time. I can even watch snow falling, and I get some enjoyment out of that. I feel completely content just looking out the window. I'm not looking at my neighbors. I'm not being nosy. I'm just absorbing the atmosphere, nature at its purest, because I'm not missing out on anything. I'm fully present in my own world at that moment. If you're someone who struggles with being alone, I get it. I really do. We're constantly surrounded by messages that tell us that we should always be connected. And sometimes you just need to disconnect, especially from certain people. But I found that the more you treat your alone time as something that's intentional, as something that's special, the more you start to cherish your freedom and your solo time. The best part about loving your own company, even every day, it feels like exactly how it's supposed to be. You're not dependent upon how somebody acts or what somebody says to bring you happiness. No waiting, just contentment, right? And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. If you love solo time like I love solo time, let's chat about it in the comments, guys. And if you don't, maybe today is a day that you start loving yourself and loving the time that you have with yourself. And I guess some people call that being alone. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Let's chat in the comments.